And go. And welcome back to the Delaware Boys Dynasty Football Podcast. 2 nights in a row with the boys just talking football. The boys are back in town. Ryan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, people? Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Before we get started today, trying to grow as quick as we can. I think we're finding a good rhythm. So if you can go down there, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're on Podbean, download and like the podcast. Helps us grow a ton, and we'd really appreciate all the support we can get.
Running backs and QBs were talked about. Now this is Deli's and Frankie's cream of the crop. You guys love your wide receivers. It's going to get juicy in here. Let's start it off. I think these two are tied to each other for the rest of their careers. LSU teammates. Let's start it off. Chase, Justin Jefferson. Who you got?
So this one is pretty easy for me. I know it's not easy generally, but I was not a Jamar Chase guy coming out, so I'm going to stick with Justin Jefferson. I thought Justin Jefferson was the best wide receiver in his draft class coming out, even though he wasn't profiled that way. AJ can back me up on that. Him and I both had Justin Jefferson stock when he was coming out of LSU, so I fell off of Chase a little bit when he set his final year out in college. So just to stick with my guns, I'm going to go with Jefferson. I think he obviously isn't tied to a quarterback the way that Chase is, so that is a little bit of a drawback for him. But I think Jefferson's one of the most talented wide receiver prospects to come in the league the last few years.
I think this question is tricky. I'm going to say that because on the one end, you have a high volume wide receiver. Not saying Chase isn't, but Jefferson saw 167 targets last season. I expect Chase's target numbers to rise in year two. He had 128 last year, but his efficiency was insane. His yards per catch were insane. He averaged almost 18 yards per catch. He's an explosive player. Dynasty, I think it's apples and oranges with these guys. I don't really care who you have. I'm going with Chase. And that's the only reason is because I like the fact that he's linked to an elite QB for a foreseeable amount of time. The connection between him and Burrow is undeniable. I have a lot of stock in Joe Burrow, so I'm going to take the wide receiver that's going to make it go for that team.
Yeah, just to go with Frankie on that one, I'm all in for Jefferson on this. It's definitely close, though. My only thing is that almost 18 yard per catch mark, that's going to be tough to repeat going forward. Absolutely. And plus, I think he's also kind of capped by T. Higgins. I don't think that there's anybody in the wide receiver room Justin Jefferson has that's even close to T. Higgins. I think on any other team, T. Higgins is probably the number one receiver. So that being said, more passing for the Vikings offense. Volume's going to go up even more for Jefferson, which don't really see how possible. 167 is going to be hard to get over that, but I see him staying right there. I think when he finished wide receiver 2 last year behind Cup on a freak season. So I'm going to keep riding Justin Jefferson until the wheels fall off. And if Chase proves me wrong, then so be it.
Hey, also too, Jefferson's 16 yards per catch also is nothing to be mad about as well.
Yeah, we had 15 last year.
Yeah, 14.96.
Yeah. I'm going to even it out. Give me Chase. I just like what Steven said as well. I mean, he's linked to Burrow. I mean, that connection is going to be there for next 6 to 9 years at least. Cousins, I mean, you might get 2 more years out of him in Minnesota, then you don't know what's going to go on there. Obviously, I like to live in a win now mode. So either one is good at the time. But I really just I think Jamar Chase gives you a different route tree. I love Jefferson. He's going to get the volume and the catches, but Chase is going to open that field up and he's going to get those long deep plays. And he's also anytime he gets the ball, I think he's harder to tackle. You've seen that a lot last year in his rookie year, breaking away from. I mean, I vividly remember that tackle against the Ravens game where he spun out of that play and just took off. I was playing him and I was so tight. And that type of play, I feel like he's been making since his sophomore year of college. Yeah, he sat out a year, but I mean, the man came out and was a dog last year. Everybody, backed away from him in the preseason. Nah, I can't see the laces, including myself. Traded him away for CeeDee Lamb. That bit me in the ass. I don't like CeeDee Lamb because of that now. But I mean, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, you got 1A and 1A. I mean, they both went to LSU. That's probably my favorite college offense I've ever watched play. Everybody.
Great offense.
Yeah, I was insane.
Burrow,
Yeah.
Clyde, Thad Moss, out of all people, Jamar Chase, Terrence Marshall, Justin Jefferson. Like every play was just must watch TV. I just like that Chase is linked to Burrow. It gives that a little bit of edge to me. I think the offenses are very similar. I mean, you got Mixon and Dalvin. You got an RB1 behind you. You got Higgins next to Chase. He's going to draw targets as he led the team in targets last year. I mean, you got Thielen. Somehow he always finds a way to find the end zone. And then their tight end situation is very meh. So similar situations. I just like the Burrow over Cousins for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much like a stylistic preference, honestly. Like Justin Jefferson he can run every route and get open. He's one of the best route runners in the league, to where Chase is much more of a playmaker. He's not gonna run routes as clean as Jefferson. He's obviously a really good route runner, but he relies a little bit more on his speed and quickness to when the ball's in his hand, as opposed to Jefferson, who he's going to leave his defender in the dust before he even touches the ball. So, I just think it's a stylistic choice.
And Chase absolutely bodies DBs. You can go back and watch the Chardavius Ward tape. Just bodies DBs. I love it.
Chardavius Ward of all people.
You're not going to talk about Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl?
I mean, we could talk about that. Actually, that was T. Higgins.
That was T. Higgins, and it was pass interference.
Yeah, T. Higgins.
That was Jamar Chase down the sideline.
Well, T. Higgins had 2 touchdowns on Ramsey. I think Higgins.
Yeah. I'm talking about the deep ball.
That's cool.
Shit on Ramsey.
But I'm saying that one where he came back and just bodied Chardavius Ward was absolutely awesome. I love watching it. It was pretty funny.
I think even like Drake London would body him.
Listen, bro, you gonna stop throwing this Drake London shade out here, bro?
Nah, for real. Get back on track.
Yeah, split room here. Like I said, apples and oranges here. 1A. I don't really care either way.
Yeah, either way, I'm not mad about it.
This one's interesting as well. This is Frankie's wide receiver 3 dynasty. We got AJ Brown against the Dallas Cowboys CD Lamb.
Yeah.
Frankie, AJ's your boy. Start it off, man. Go ahead. Give your boy some love.
AJ Brown, aka the Julio Jones clone. That is my guy. Like including the injuries. AJ Brown has basically been Julio Jones up until this point in his career. And I don't know if anybody on this pod was able to peep the video of him and Jalen Hurts connecting on that touchdown in practice on the ones yesterday. But that boy was looking clean. That boy Jalen Hurts out there dropping dimes. We don't got to talk about Jalen Hurts anymore because, that's been plenty discussed on this show. But AJ Brown, when he's healthy, I think he's probably – I don't know, the 3rd, 4th best wide receiver in football in terms of getting the ball in his hand and making plays happen. Finished as wide receiver 12 his second year in the league, and finished as wide receiver 10 his first year in the league. So, I mean, guy like AJ Brown just getting in an offense that I know everybody thinks they are the most run heavy team in the league, but through the first 8 weeks of the season last year, they were the highest passing rated offense, or the highest passing offense in the league in terms of usage. And then they realized that wasn't working for them because they didn't have weapons, and they decided to go run the ball. But I think with AJ Brown, Jalen Hurts takes a huge step this year. I don't see a world in which he gets under 120 targets, and I can see him eclipsing 10 touchdowns easily. Give me AJ Brown all day. I am not a CeeDee Lamb guy. Obviously, I think the targets are going to be there for Lamb this year, but I was very high on Lamb coming out of college, and he hasn't shown me much since he got in the league. He was in an offense with 2 other guys to take attention away from him, and he still hasn't been able to produce. So give me AJ Brown 100 times out of 100 in this scenario.
Yeah, I'll jump in. Um, this is a tough one for me, honestly. I've not been the biggest CeeDee Lamb supporter. I'm every year I find myself not liking him more and more. I don't see why he shouldn't have took that leap with the situation he's been in Dallas. I mean, that offense is just it's high octane. Why is he not taking that leap that everybody's wanting? Um, Even with the volume that he's going to receive from the missing targets of Amari this year, I still don't see that top 6 to top 8 wide receiver finish. I just don't. I think he'll hover in the high teens, being like 11 to 13, somewhere in that area, kind of like Amari Cooper has his whole entire career. I think he's a better wide receiver than Amari Cooper, but I just think as far as a fantasy standpoint, that's where he's going to hover around. AJ Brown's a freak. He's shown he's a freak. I do not like his landing spot. I really do not like it.
About to make you say something nice about Jalen Hurts, bro. Come on, I hear it coming.
I don't plan on saying anything nice about Jalen Hurts. I mean, the man had 16 passing touchdowns last year. And you said he's going to get double-digit receiving touchdowns. Whew, that's heavy volume coming. I don't see
one
double-digit
receiver on that team last year anywhere close to AJ Brown's talent. Just one.
Nobody. Absolutely
Okay.
no.
Okay.
I won't argue that. I do think CeeDee Lamb has more touchdowns than AJ Brown this year. I see CeeDee Lamb getting double-digit touchdowns, but AJ Brown is a yak monster. You said you see Julio. I don't see Julio. I don't want to make some far-fetched comparison, but to me, when he gets the ball, he kind of reminds me of like a slightly smaller Terrell Owens, and it's just very ironic he went to Philly.
Wait, what the hell? I can't make a Julio comparison, but you just
Julio is just bigger and
best wide
faster.
receiver.
I think he's bigger and faster. I'm a Terrell Owens guy. But
Julio's comp was T.O. coming out, but never mind. We're talking apples and oranges.
Yeah, maybe coming out, but I think they went different ways. They're both Hall of Fame wide receivers, top 10 talents of all
Julio
time.
couldn't catch no touchdowns. That's why he went a different way. T.O.'s a touchdown monster.
The beast. But yeah, AJ Brown's a freak. I mean, he's like I said, he's a yak monster. Get that man the ball, he's hard to come down. What I don't like about AJ Brown is he misses games every year so far. He's been in the league. CD has not missed as many games as AJ Brown. We talk about it every time. The best ability is availability. I'd love to see AJ Brown put together a full season, regardless if he's with my most hated team in the Eagles. I would love to just see what his numbers are. Like, are we looking at 105 and 1,400 yards with 12 touchdowns? I see that in potential with AJ Brown. I'm not so sure I see that with Jalen Hurts as his quarterback, though. So we'll see. I just don't see it from CeeDee Lamb. I don't see that upper echelon wide receiver in him. AJ Brown is a dog.
All right. I guess I'll be the first one to hop on the CeeDee Lamb train. So be it. Number one, I'll take anybody number one offense. I like Dak more as a passer than Jalen Hurts. Not to say it's in fantasy with different aspects. We're talking like real life football. Give me Dak's arm and talent and yardage over Jalen Hurts any day. The target's going to be there for CeeDee Lamb. He hasn't made the step yet, and there are times where he disappears in games, which is not something you really want to see out of a wide receiver one, especially being in that offense for 2 years, and you still see him kind of like miss out and only get 3-4 targets a game. Like, that's not something you want to have. At the same time, I also don't think you're going to see that on the other side with AJ Brown. Like, I feel like he's going to get peppered with targets every game. So you can make that argument. It's very close for me, but I also take CeeDee Lamb. I just think that in that offense, he has a higher chance to get 1,400 yards than AJ Brown would with Hurts. So do as you will. I just see more touchdown volume, more targets available for CD than I do with AJ Brown.
I'm going CD as well. I lost this argument, but I had CeeDee Lamb as the number one receiver in his class. Then I saw Justin Jefferson play, and yeah. But
it took me a little longer to admit that Jefferson's better than you would like to admit.
Yeah, it's hard to eat your own. CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma was an absolute dog. Loved what I saw.
Yes, he was.
And I don't think that's just going to disappear. Like you said, high octane. This Cowboys offense was number one offense in the league last year. I don't see them dropping outside of the top five. I know this team is a little bit differently when it comes to their restructuring. But CD has improved from year one to year two. Yards per target, yards per catch has increased. Total yardage numbers, total targets. Between Cedric Wilson and Amari Cooper, I think it's like 155 vacated targets. I think CeeDee Lamb is that guy can crack inside the top, like 140 targets plus. And I actually really want to see him with that kind of workload and that connection with Dak as it keeps progressing. The only thing that I'll say is CD has disappeared in games, and that does worry me a little bit. And that's no hate to AJ Brown. AJ Brown is a freak. Like you said, Jalen Hurts being your QB in real life kind of, hinders a little bit. I do think, Tannehill, it's not a huge upgrade or anything with Tannehill because they both were pretty average as a passer. But give me Lamb. I think the sky's the limit. I think year 3 is the year where he steps into that upper echelon of receivers that you guys don't think that he can step into. So I'm excited for year 3 in Dallas. You don't get to wear number 88 in Dallas if you're not special. I think he's going to be okay.
They might need to take that number from him then.
I'll say one thing about AJ Brown.
Oh, go ahead, Dilly.
My bad. I thought you were wrapped up. But I'll say one thing about AJ Brown, just like I think he was trapped in a run first offense with Derrick Henry, who's carrying the rock 25 times a game. I think you're gonna see less carries out of the Eagles offense than with Derrick Henry in the backfield. So I think he could offer some more targets. You could see some improvements in that going into this season for sure. Tannehill, while he might be the same level of passer, I think you might see more attempts under Hurts than Tannehill.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You can't bring in AJ Brown and not utilize that weapon.
Right.
I mean, that's a massive weapon to bring in. He's a beast. Like, there's no question about it.
Yeah, my only thing with CD is he got 15 more targets than AJ Brown did last year. Like, that's it. Like, you would think that with the games missed from AJ Brown, that number would be a little bit more disparaging. But CD ended with 120 to AJ Brown's 105. And CD he's not a touchdown guy. Like, he only had 6 touchdowns last year. And as a Falcons fan, I'm very familiar with wide receiver ones who don't score touchdowns. So I really think that CeeDee Lamb's biggest problem is going to be his efficiency. Kind of like Najee Harris. Yeah, if you get all that volume, it's good, but what are you doing with it? So that's more or less where I'm at with AJ Brown. Like AJ said, he's a yak monster. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to perform. If you give him a target and 9, he's going to convert that into a catch, and he's most likely going to get you a good 10, 15-yard chunk at minimum.
Yeah, for sure. I saw some clips out of training camp. I was like, wow. Like, oh, wow. Especially this one.
He hasn't gone away.
He caught a slant route, and there's like a spin move like over from the safety. I was like, yeah, okay. You got my respect.
Tell me some AJ Brown.
This one, I think this one's going to be torn too. I'm actually curious about this one. Debo and Diggs. You guys talked about, not being linked to a quote unquote accurate passer. I think a lot of you are going to lean Diggs here, just for my prediction, but I think this is a good one. Debo and Diggs. I'll let AJ start off just because that's his boy, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, give me the best route runner in football, and Stephon Diggs. I don't think there's anybody better than Stephon when it comes to route running.
Over Adam?
Yeah, give me Diggs.
I think Ridley might be up there too, not to be a homer.
Ridley's up with top 5. Keenan, maybe
Jefferson.
Jerry Jeudy.
Jefferson.
As far as getting out of the routes, I mean, they're all right there. Stephon, he's just a little better than evereverybody. Just give me Stephon. I mean, he's always played with a chip on his shoulder. 5th round pick out of Maryland. A lot of teams didn't even want him. He wasn't even on their board. Minnesota took a chance with him. And he plays with that mentality when he's on the field. Ever since he came to Buffalo, both him and Josh Allen took that step that everybody was waiting for from both of them. And a lot of people at first didn't like the trade to Buffalo. They're like, I saw a lot of people getting rid of them. They're like, okay, Diggs to Allen. Allen didn't really take that step yet prior to year 3 when Diggs came there. And they just took off. I mean, he's been a wide receiver 1 both years. He's just an upper echelon tier wide receiver. He knows how to stretch the field. He's a safety blanket. He knows how to get open. He knows how to read coverages. He knows when to sit in the zone coverage. I mean, he'll take a 10-yard, curl route and get 18 out of it somehow. He'll also hit you with a post route, hit you for a 35-yarder, and then step up and literally flex his muscles at you. I love that shit. He's a beast. He's a dog. He's playing with Josh Allen. I love Debo. I love what he did last year. That's the first year, counting college, that he did not get hurt. And that's why San Fran was so skeptical about paying him as well. Not just a running back issue, but it had to do with his injury history. That's the first year that he had not received an injury. Trey Lance, I like Trey Lance, but I like Josh Allen more. Give me Diggs.
So this is a tough one for me. It's very close. I think I might lean Debo here. Only because of age, which is a huge thing. If you're going to ask me who the more polished NFL receiver is, it's absolutely Stephon Diggs. But if you're talking from a fantasy standpoint, if he can still take the ball out of the backfield and be a product of Kyle Shanahan's offense, I think it's nothing but success for him. He finished wide receiver 3 last year. I think that can repeat. His rushing numbers were a little inflated. I still think he's going to run the ball in that offense, maybe just not as much. And he could beat you in routes, and he'll run you over in the process. That man is an animal with a rock in his hand. I just like him in that offense so much. And it's not even a knock on Diggs. Just you look at age, and like he's actually got worse last year. I don't know if he missed time, to be honest, but I know he had a down year last year.
He played all 17.
Okay. Gabe Davis is emerging as a legit weapon now. We saw him pop off in the playoffs. I'll take Debo a little bit cautious there, but I still think if I was drafting, I would lean Debo just because of the rushing upside.
Yeah. Give me Diggs.
Go ahead, Frankie.
Go ahead, Chalmers.
No, go ahead, Frankie. Good.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go Diggs. Deli, you mentioned Gabe Davis. I think Brandon Ayuk profiles as a much better wide receiver too than Gabe Davis does, and I also think Brandon Ayuk fits Trey Lance's play style a little bit better than Deebo Samuel does. I think Josh Allen has the arm to get the ball to Gabe Davis. Obviously, he's a burner, but I think Diggs, coming off back-to-back years of 160 plus targets, I don't think that's anything to sneeze at. That's a wild number. Only ended up with 103 catches last year on 163 targets. So I mean, 60 passes that weren't catchable, or he wasn't able to convert into catches. But he's averaging 11. He almost averaged 12 yards per catch last year. So you throw him the ball, it's an automatic first down. So if you're in a PPR league, you're automatically getting 2 points every time he gets a catch. If you're in a points per first down league, you're getting 2 points every time he gets a catch. Stephon Diggs to me is still, for the money, a top 5 dynasty wide receiver as long as he's linked to Josh Allen. And I think he's going to be linked to Josh Allen for the rest of his career, most likely, if he's smart. Like AJ said.
Yeah, he's locked in there.
He signed a 4-year extension this offseason.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why he's 28 and he signed a 4-year contract extension. So I mean, if he doesn't finish his career in Buffalo, then he's going to finish his fantasy football career in Buffalo. Nobody's going to take him after that contract, probably. Yeah. So Yeah, give me Diggs. I think he's the better buy here, and I think he's more efficient with the ball like being thrown to him. And I again, I don't like Debo with Trey Lance as much as I liked him with Jimmy G. Jimmy G is more of a check down guy. Trey Lance is more of a long ball guy, and I think that's going to translate to more production for Ayuk and less for Debo.
I'm going Debo. Picked up 4 shares of him in Dynasty this season.
Whoa.
We talk about
God
the
damn.
different, we talk about the different, the variation in QB. Jimmy G, more game manager. Trey Lance is going to be a big arm guy, look to push the ball down the field, and I think it actually fits Debo's scheme a lot. 11 yards per target last season, 18.5 yards per catch. You talk about the 2 points per first down. That's almost 3 for Debo. Debo is an explosive machine, and he's a playmaker. He's a playmaker waiting to happen at any time. He can pop off on the field. The 160 targets is impressive, and I think Ryan pointed it out that 59 carries is a little inflated. I think with the rushing volume and the passing volume he will receive, I think it's going to even out, pretty close in touches for both these wide receivers. Deli makes a good point. Give me the wide receiver with Kyle Shanahan. It's just a little bit younger. I think it's very close between these two. I have Debo as my wide receiver 6, and I have Stephon Diggs as my wide receiver 7 in Dynasty. So I'm going to go Debo here.
So the injury history doesn't worry.
It is concerning. It is concerning. We had 15 games played in year 1, which I'll take that out of a 16-game season. The red flag, obviously, is your 7 games missed in year 2. But last year, a healthy season. The South Carolina injury history is it can be worrisome at times.
He was banged up all rookie year. He just played. He was banged up in and out of games.
I'll tell you what, if you're carrying questionable tags on Sunday and you're still playing for me, I'll take it. I know you miss games I miss time in games, but I just like Debo's talent, man. I love the explosiveness just waiting to happen. He's a game changer. You say you are right when Diggs you say is more polished. But I'm just going to take the younger wide receiver here with the deep threat playability that he possesses.
Fair enough. I know you guys are big Trey guys, but you don't think that the Trey Lance limitations are going to be too much for Debo to overcome? Like I know you guys are fans of Trey Lance, but a lot of things I'm hearing out of training camp are him and Ayuk are on the same page. I haven't seen much about him and Debo. I know Debo's been a hold-in, but still.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I've always been, talent rises to the crop. It's the cream of the crop. It always is going to shine when it needs to shine. Debo is a better wide receiver than Ayuk. I don't think that's in question. I think Debo is your number 1, and I don't know if Ayuk is number 2. I think Kittle is your number 2 option. We'll see. I know Kyle Shanahan loves to use Kittle as a blocking tight end.
And Kittle's hurt all the time as well.
That's true. That's true. And I saw a lot from Ayuk in the second half of the season. He was wide receiver 15 in points per game. I think he had a great second half into a playoff run.
Yeah, absolutely.
I trust Kittle more when it comes to it. I think it's close, but I think Ayuk working a nice role as a 3. I think he's good. I think he's gonna be good for 85 targets this season, 85, 90. But then again, a couple questions arise, like what is this passing offense going to look like? Are they going to be more run-based? There's a couple questions with this offense, though, that we got to see worked out.
Who we got next?
DJ and DJ.
I'm surprised we were split on that one.
DJ and DJ.
We've been split on the first 3. What we got here? Yeah. Start it off, Chalmers. This your boy.
This your boys, yeah. Go ahead, Chalmers, DJ and DJ. DJ squared.
All right, boys.
Great DJ debate.
Every time I hear DJ, I think of Wild Now. DJ Direct.
Give me Deontay.
Shocker of the pod.
Whoa.
See this?
Never saw that
coming. For everybody that didn't know, he likes the Steelers.
Give me Deontay. The biggest question marks about Deontay were the drops. I think drops are a stat that you can look past, especially you go from 13 drops to 4 drops from year 2 to year 3. I was very impressed with Deontay. Route running is so smooth. Dude can get open on any corner in the league. He typically worked not far beyond the line of scrimmage because of Ben's noodle arm last season. So it was rough to watch. I actually expect more big plays from this offense this season. I think we have QBs that can actually push the ball down the field a little bit more. I'm not saying it's going to be pretty, but if you ask me, do I think Deontay is going to repeat 168 targets? Probably not. I think that's a very inflated number. But people are fading Deontay due to the QB play. And I think that's kind of a mistake. I always want to take a team's wide receiver one. Give me Deontay. I just think it's tough. I just think the touchdown upside is there. I've never seen DJ Moore's never scored more than 4 touchdowns in a single season. I'm gonna take the guy with the higher touchdown upside, and because I think they're the same player. So give me the guy with the higher touchdown upside.
I think that's completely fair.
Who, me?
Yeah, go ahead,
This
Dilly.
is a question for me. I've been a ride or die DJ Moore guy my whole life. That train's not going to stop here. Deontay Johnson had a better season last year, right? That's fair. But he also played with Big Ben Noodle Arm, and he looked his way almost every time. Those targets are definitely going to come down this year with Mitch Trubisky as quarterback. I would say that I think Mitch also has the habit of targeting one guy and just rolling with it. We saw that with Allen Robinson. So that could profile well for him. But I just think the only thing DJ Moore needs is just more touchdowns. And he's good. I mean, he gives you 1,100, close to 1,200 yards every year. I think he's a beast. You can feed him the ball with no problem. He's a target monster, and he can handle it. He's great route. Well, I think he's not the most polished route runner, but I'd say he has the ability to get open, get the separation from corners or whoever he's up against. It sucks because I don't know Baker Mayfield and Mitch Trubisky how much of a difference there really is, but I'll go with preference on this one and give me DJ Moore.
Yeah, I'm going DJ Moore here too with you, Deli. Like you said, he's all he's missing really is the touchdowns. And again, I'm very familiar with low touchdown scoring wide receiver ones. So, but DJ Moore giving you 1,100 yards in 3 straight seasons, 1,100 yards plus in 3 straight seasons is a wild number. And he's proven that it doesn't matter what quarterback he's playing with. He's going to put up the same production every year. He's had to play with Cam Newton. He's had to play with Sam Darnold, laundry list of just trash quarterbacks. Not saying that. Yeah. I forgot about Walker. Yeah. PJ Walker out of the AFL or CFL or whatever the hell he was playing
games
in.
when he's the quarterback.
Listen, I don't disagree, but DJ Moore is the guy I'm rolling with here. Deontay, I know Big Ben wasn't the best last year, but he was still a Hall of Fame quarterback. So Deontay's never had to play without a Hall of Fame quarterback until this year. And I think going from Big Ben to Mitch or Kenneth is probably one of the worst downgrades you could have. I don't know why Pittsburgh didn't address their quarterback situation sooner than last year, but I do not trust the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh. Not saying the quarterback situation in Carolina is any better, but I think DJ Moore has proven that he can put up production no matter the quarterback. So give me DJ Moore. I think he's probably going to eclipse his 4 touchdown barrier this season. So give me DJ Moore.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chalmers, this will be the one where we don't all even out. Give me DJ Moore. They pretty much touched on it. Like, Ben was peppering him. He was getting the ball out almost quicker than anybody in the NFL last year.
Quicker than he's ever done in his whole career.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to get it to Deontay, which is smart. Make the man make a play. I mean, give it to your best playmaker and let him try to make a play. I don't see Trubisky and Pickett doing that. You said that these quarterbacks are going to try to stretch the field more. I think that's where Pickens and Claypool come into effect. They are going to get the balls downfield rather than Deontay. He's more of an in between the lines type of wide receiver. But DJ Moore, I think he just has a little bit more explosiveness than Deontay. He has a burst. You hit him on a little slant, curl route, make you miss. He just has that extra gear. I would love for him to just get 6 touchdowns, 7 touchdowns, something. Anything's better than 4. I mean that's too low. But I like DJ Moore. I didn't like him at first, but every year I've come around on him a little bit more and more. Give me DJ Moore.
Yeah, and something we didn't touch on too much is the fact that the Steelers have a lot more competition for targets than the Panthers do. I mean, it's basically Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore in the Panthers offense vying for targets, where you got George Pickens and Claypool and DJ and Freiermuth and
I also
Najee.
think, I also
Yep.
think that this is DJ Moore's best quarterback he's ever played with.
I don't think that's even close. Yeah, I think it's very fair.
And this is Deontay's worst quarterback he's ever played with.
Correct.
So,
and this, to be
DJ
fair, I
Moore's
do like
struggling.
Deontay Johnson. Like, I don't hate Deontay Johnson by any means. Again, this is a hypothetical exercise that we're doing here. If Deontay Johnson's on the board and DJ Moore is not, and you need a wide receiver, go get you some Deontay Johnson. He's a great wide receiver in this, or good wide receiver in this league with the potential to be great. Just again, in this situation, I'm going DJ Moore. I think he's going to have a career year. And I think Deontay might take a little bit of a step back with the competition for targets he's going to have there and the quarterback downgrade.
Fair enough. Last one of the night. Waddle, Higgins, Oswald, Cobblepot.
My guy.
Best celebration in the NFL outside of the gritty.
Better than the gritty, man. Get that Waddle
How
going.
long the gritty's going to go on, because I love it.
Love the gritty. It's
And the
fun.
Grady's great. It'll be here as long as Jefferson's here. So
I hope
until we think of something new.
Man, this one's tough. Both are capped by wide receiver ones. But the question is, I don't even know. I don't know if Tyreek's their wide receiver one. This is where this comes down to. What does this Miami offense look with two burners on the outside? There's so much you can do with this offense. I think this is going to be one of the funnest offenses to watch in 2022. It all comes back to Tua, man. I'm going to take Higgins. I'm going to take the better QB.
Surprise.
You just said all of that.
What was that build-up?
It was
Yeah,
the
you said
the
that
build-up
whole thing up
because
to just take Waddle, and you're like, no, Higgins, give me that.
it was the
the fucking curve.
Yeah, bro.
it was the build-up. It's just like, is Tua gonna be this guy? Like, is he gonna translate to be a good starting QB in the league? Because Zach Wilson's in your division, you're the third best QB in your division. You know what I mean? Like, it's rough. I don't know, man. I like what I've heard from Mac Jones in training camp. I can't wait to see it. But anyway, Higgins. I think me and AJ talk about this all the time. I think this offense between the wide receivers, I don't think it's crazy to say that these wide receivers could both go for 12 plus touchdowns. Higgins is another big body guy that just goes and makes plays, like goes up and just grabs the ball at his high point. He's great at doing stuff like that. Explosive wide receiver, average almost 14 yards per catch. More as if Waddle worked more towards the line of scrimmage last year. I believe he was under 10 yards per catch. I'm going to take the more explosive guy in this scenario. But no discredit to Waddle. I think Waddle is a beast. Yeah, I'll let Frankie go ahead. I know he wants to get some Waddle talking.
Listen, man, I feel like I've gotten Waddle talk in on basically every pod we've done, so I will gladly take the opportunity to talk about Mr. Oswald Cobblepot. Waddle, baby. But I think he has proven that he has built a rapport with Tua. He produced last year with Tua at quarterback for the most part. Came out of the year with 140 targets, PPR machine. So 6 touchdowns isn't the best thing in the world, but he was able to get over 1,000 yards as a rookie, finished with 104 catches. So Jalen Waddle, just a guy. I know the Tyreek Hill concerns are there, but I think Jalen Waddle is going to prove to be the wide receiver one on this team with his rapport with Tua. I think Tyreek Hill is doing a lot of popping off at the mouth this offseason to draw some attention to himself because he's aware that his star is going to fade a little bit there in Miami in terms of football play. I love Jalen Waddle, so I think, and I love T. Higgins. I don't want to disparage T. Higgins in any way, but I think Jamar Chase is a far superior talent at this point in his career to Tyreek Hill. So I think he's going to garner a little bit more attention there. Again, and you're talking Joe Mixon in that offense. You're talking, the third wide receiver's name's escaping me right now.
Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, there we go. Tyler Boyd's in that offense. So just a lot more mouths to feed in Cincinnati than there are in Miami. You're basically dealing with Waddle and Hill and maybe some Mike Gesicki in there. Again, I know they brought Cedric Wilson in, got rid of Devontae Parker, but it's basically Waddle and Hill's offense. And again, I think Waddle has proven that the rapport he's built up with Tua is pretty solid with 104 catches on 140 targets last year.
That's what I was going to touch on. It's 104 for 140. It's very efficient. This is actually the toughest one out of the 5 that we've done tonight. To me, I went back and forth with this one. I'm a fan of both. I just like Waddle's PPR upside. If you're catching over 100 balls, give me that all day. And like you said, he's already developed a rapport with Tua. New head coach coming over from San Fran. He's going to scheme up things a little differently than Brian Flores did. I mean, he's going to get the ball in both Tyreek and Waddle's hands. I actually think Tyreek's going to open up the field a little bit more for Waddle. He's going to stress the field, and Waddle's going to stay short, semi-short, get those balls. They're both going to complement each other, unlike we've never seen a wide receiver combo with this speed and talent on the same team that I can think of. I can't really think of if you guys know of another duo this fast, this dynamic, and this talented. I mean, please share, but I can't think. Nothing comes to mind. Like they're arguably the 2 fastest wide receivers in the game. And Waddle last year, him and Tua somehow connected. Like from I think it was like game 6 on, Waddle was a wide receiver 2+ every week. And if Tyreek can just take the top off, it's just going to make Waddle that much better. I could see Waddle getting to 120, 125 catches, even with Tyreek there. I mean, he set the record for most catches as a rookie in NFL history. And I think Tyreek is just going to make him develop his game a little better. He's going to teach him things if he hasn't already taught him things. I mean, Tyreek has been a top 5 wide receiver the last 4 or 5 years playing with Patrick Mahomes. And I think he's just going to open up that game, and we might see another level to Jalen Waddle this year. So give me Waddle.
So for me, I don't think this one's that close. I do like Waddle, a lot of celebration. I go T. Higgins here, 10 times out of 10. Strictly because I'm not a Tua guy. I have one stock of him in a league where it is vital to have a quarterback, and I did not have one until the 5th round. I don't love his talent. I don't think he can support 2 wide receivers of their echelon. I think we could see a world where they're both getting in the high 80s for catches. And I don't think that's outlandish. I think Tua would have to make a legitimate step for Waddle to get 120 catches in the same offense as Tyreek Hill. You say that Tyreek's going to take away attention from Jalen Waddle. I would argue that Jamar Chase could do the same exact thing for T. Higgins in that offense. I mean, you saw T. Higgins go off in the playoffs, no problem, while Chase was getting clamped up by 2 guys. Plus, I like T. Higgins is going to go down the field and catch those long balls. I mean, I feel like Jalen Waddle more profiles as like a new age Jarvis Landry than so. Don't love the PPR guys, but I'll take T. Higgins only because I think Burrow can throw for 5,000.
But don't we think that Jamar Chase did take away that extra coverage from Higgins last year, and Higgins still led the team in targets?
Yeah.
So I just don't see a lot of room for growth with Higgins, I think is what AJ's saying. Like he's a little bit
touchdown. But as far as the catches and the yards, I don't think that's going to be coming. I could see a touchdown uptick and Chase come down from 14 to 10, and those 4 touchdowns go to Higgins.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that.
Like Higgins has never had more than 75 catches in each season, so that's a little bit where I'm at with Higgins. I don't see the room for growth. I love T. Higgins. I wish that he was on another team so that he could shine. But again, he's never had more than 75 catches in a season. He's a yards per catch monster. damn near averaging 15 yards per catch last season to Waddle's less than 10. So if there is one thing I would say that Waddle needs to improve on, it is that yards per catch. He's averaging like 8 yards per target, and then he's averaging only about 9 to 10 yards per catch. So you kind of want to see that go up a little bit. But either way, I'm taking the 100 targets or the 104 catches over the 74 catches. That's 30 whole catches over T. Higgins. So I know Hill's there, but I just don't see him depleting anything that he built with Waddle built with Tua.
It's two more things. It's just like I feel like Tiger has a lot to prove that he didn't have to lean heavy on Mahomes as a receiver to be elite. I think he's going to try and prove that it's not needed. I mean, he is a dog on the field. There's nothing to take away from it. So I think Tyree's got something to prove and might play with the chip on his shoulder more than you'd imagine that offense.
He plays like a 6'4" wide receiver, though.
Yeah, and you're not wrong, Frankie. The room for growth for T. Higgins is, I mean, it's capped, I think. I think you could see the 80 catch season, couple of seasons, 80, 85, maybe. I don't know if the Bengals ever let him go. I wouldn't let him go. I think he's a vital asset to this roster. I don't think 6 touchdowns is his ceiling, though. I do see double-digit touchdowns in his career. Me and AJ, and we've talked about this a lot in the group chat. I think Higgins and Chase are a combo that can go for, double-digit scores, 12, 14 scores apiece. You are right. Waddle does have the PPR upside, but I think it can be evened out a little bit with the big playability that Higgins possesses as well. I think this, like you said, this is the toughest one we've done. This one it's very tough. And Ryan serves a good point. Is Tua the next guy? You're linked to an elite QB in Burrow, and then you're linked to Tua. I mean, it's a drastic difference. So we'll see on this one. But we have some time. I got a couple I just want to throw out at you. You don't have to debate it. We took this one off our list just this season. Keenan Allen or Mike Evans. We don't have to debate it a long time. Just throw it out there.
Mike Evans.
This season, Mike Evans.
Your redraft settings strictly, I'm still going Mike Evans. Yeah.
Same. I think we'll be a little. I don't know if we'll be split on this one. Let's throw the rookies out there: Treylon Burks, Drake London.
Drake London.
Treylon Burks.
I'll take Treylon. I'll stand by him. I thought I had an interesting one. Godwin versus Mike Williams. I feel like that's a lot closer. I'm actually taking Mike Williams over Chris Godwin.
I'm not taking Mike Williams ever, so give me Chris Godwin. I think Mike Williams snake bit me 2 years in a row before he popped off, so I'm out on Mike Williams.
Well, but I'm giving Chris Godwin.
Yeah, I want the better wide receiver. I think Godwin's a better wide receiver. Give me Godwin.
What scares me as a Bucs fan is next year.
Right.
I've been watching all this Kyle Trask camp stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen it. He looks like a worse version of Daniel Jones.
He might be worse than Daniel Jones.
That's why he's not starting. I'm terrified. I'm hoping maybe we can snag, Jimmy Garoppolo or something. Give us something. Teddy Bridgewater. Give me something next year. We can't just.
He's already in Florida.
We can't go from having Tom Brady to a top 5 pick like we were for, 16.
I was about to say, you guys are pretty outside of the Tom Brady experience and the one fluke year you guys stole John Gruden from the Raiders. I mean, that's the history of your franchise.
Yeah, we stole Gruden with the playbook.
The whole thing. They didn't change jack shit. I'm still mad about it. Like, happened in 2002. I'll never get over it.
Love it.
Fun times to be a Bucs fan. Yeah. It was fun. I mean, it was a fun podcast. I think that I really want to know what the people feel when it comes to the Higgins Waddle one. I think that was a great one that I never thought about when it came to comparison. That was a very good one.
If we're throwing out rookies, why don't we do the old Ohio State teammates? You got Olave or you got Garrett Wilson?
Olave.
Even with Mike back?
Doesn't matter.
I think Garrett Wilson's a better talent overall. So give me Garrett.
Give me Olave. It circles back to the last pod with the Jets. They just lost Mekhi Becton for the year. I mean, they might as well just start looking for left tackle again.
I think Dwayne Brown's in talks 37-year-old Brown.
I'll say that's a rough way to live if you're relying on a 40-year-old and it's not
Right,
Andrew
so
Whitworth.
insane.
True.
Right. It's just the Jets are going to be the Jets.
Yeah, give me Olave. I'm not.
Give me
against either
Jameis
one.
over Zach Wilson.
Fair enough.
I don't want either one of them to be fair, but give me Olave.
In
over
fantasy, give me Jameis all day.
Oh no, I'm talking wide receivers. Yeah, fantasy, give me Jameis over Zach Wilson 100 times out of 100. Fuck Zach Wilson.
Fuck Zach Wilson. Except for the MILF stuff. That's pretty cool.
No, he did a good job there. Kudos to him.
That's my man.
Clap to you. Tight ends are not very deep, so this is going to be a very. I
We
think
could probably tie that in right at the end of this one if you want to.
Nah, we can shoot a 15-minute
I'm
pod
kidding.
in
I'm
there.
kidding, but there ain't gonna be much to talk about with the tight end.
tight ends are tough after the top 5. They're very tough. But that's next. New video just dropped on Variety Sports Network, so go over there, check it out. Other than that, anybody got anything to say to the people?
Check us out on Podbean. Mr. Chalmers and Deli out here doing the big thing, getting us on Podbean. So if this video format isn't something that's as easier for you to consume, go ahead with the audio format on that Podbean.
Yeah, if you guys are still listening, please give us some shout outs, give us some feedback, like, subscribe, anything is helping. We're progressing more and more every day. And without you guys, we're nothing.
Actually, there was a comment that stood out to me on our last video, our QB video, excuse me. Buddy of ours wanted to explain me and Deli. It was actually for me and you. He has T-Law over Trey Lance. He said, explain your reasoning for Trey Lance over T-Law. He said, because
Hold on, this is a whole conversation. Can we just tack this on to the end of the tight end video?
yeah, I mean, if you want to. I was just talking about the comments that stood out.
Yeah, we can address the comments in the next video because we have a lot more time on those.
Yeah, we'll do a tight end and some user feedback if we get some user feedback.
Okay, yeah, just an interesting comment about the QBs. Also, just want to mention that he did say Dak over Hurts, just for you two that were on Hurts. But other than that,
you're allowed to be wrong sometimes. That's fine.
Other than that, fellas,
It's hard to see a breakout, when you're stuck on your old opinions. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Tough critic. You're a critic, man. Anyway,
Way to end it, Deli.
we appreciate it, boys. Thank you guys for your time. We are out.